You can't fix stupid, but boy, is there a lot of it in this world. Biden has made the American dream so out of reach for Americans, some are taking a shot at it in a different country, Russia.
What? Like this YouTuber from Tallahassee, Florida, who claims God sent him to Moscow, telling the Free Press, quote, "I often say it feels like our positive vision of 1950s America."
Or a former computer engineer from Atlanta who says, quote, "The U.S. is a political mess. Socially, things are a mess. Spiritually, things are a mess." He goes on to say, one of the best parts is 20% of the women in Russia could be supermodels.
All right, let's bring in someone who knows what life is really like in Russia. Russian-born former U.S. Defense Intelligence Officer and author of American Bolsheviks, Rebekah Koffler. Rebekah, good to see you. So is the American dream more alive in Russia than it is in the U.S.? Are these guys wrong?
Well, absolutely not. They're wrong. Russia, let's just be candid here. It is not the paradise that some of those people think. It's an authoritarian state where the government holds an overwhelming power over an individual. But at the same time, it would be inaccurate to say that, Russia is 100%, horrible country and the U.S. is perfect. In fact, as somebody who escaped the communist regime, I'm now concerned that America is becoming more and more like Soviet Russia, that I fled. And my children are now, who are born in America, indoctrinated in the same way that all these students who are protesting were indoctrinated in their colleges.
One of the reasons that, maybe some of these American men go over there is because, the ratio, so many young men have died, say, fighting in wars, that the ratio of men to women is very much in favor of the men, and the women will make all over you because they want to get out of Russia. So if you're an American guy,
very appealing.
You're like a fat old slob, and there are these gorgeous women making all over you. So there's a lot at play, and you have to be very careful. People can think they can get away with a lot here in the United States, and you can. There, they'll throw you in prison.
Oh, absolutely. And we know such cases. They will throw you in prison even if you didn't do anything stupid, right? We know that. But speaking about women being all over, guys, the ratio always in Russia was in favor of men. Why is that? Because Russia has lost about 25 million people during World War II, right? And it has never recovered. And now the birth rates are still, not at the level where the country can reproduce itself. It's just hovering over 2.2%. So, and American men always feel like, they're just king. They have a little, when they're in Russia, they have a little bit of money, and it goes a long way, right? The dollar, because ruble is pretty much worthless. So you have to be careful when you travel to Russia. And right now, I would caution any American to stay away from Russia, because you know what happens. The intelligence services can, if you are a high-value target, they will grab you in hopes to exchange for someone who's a high-value asset for Putin.
Like the staff sergeant who was arrested in Vladivostok.
Yes.
I've heard a lot of people talk about this idea that America looks a lot more like the old Soviet Union than we ever would have dreamt, and how scary that is for those who have come from communist countries. For
me especially, look at all this censorship that's going on. The suppression of free speech, the suppression of religious voices, the conservative voices. They're trying to disarm us. This is exactly what the Soviets did, right? So right now we are on a trajectory to become a Soviet Russia. In fact, I've written a book about it, called American Bolsheviks, the persecution of Donald Trump and the Sovietization of America, where I am going to compare what went on when I was growing up in Soviet Russia and what's going on right now, and what is going to happen, what the result will be unless we stop it today.
And preserve those rights that are guaranteed to us in the Bill of Rights, which makes us unique among all nations. Rebekah, thank you so much. Great to see you.
Thank you.